What time is it? It's Packard Pokes At time. Hat? Check. Shirt? Check. Pants? Optional. Mug? Double check. Check us out at cafepress.com/PackardPokesAt where you can get all this great merchandise and more.
Do you like Packard Pokes At and want to hear it on demand and on the go? Download the free app today at Stitcher.com. Available on iOS, Android, Nook, and iPad.
This is Packard Pokes At, and I'm poking at your news. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another fine edition of Packard Pokes At. I am your immutable and unmutable host, Packard Sonic, and this is the first show of 2015 for the Packard Pokes At show, going into our third year. We're actually into our third year already. This is episode 210, everybody. And I hope everybody likes the new way the show looks. That's the Earth's behind me. I have one in my back. That's how far out in space I am right now, because I am actually, I could actually see the whole planet. It is flat. Who would have thunk? And joining us for the far East Coast is Joe Unseen.
Well, now something's not right, because now I can't see. And I would just like to add that 2015 is an inside job.
It is an inside job. That's what I hear.
Yes. 2014 was a controlled demolition.
Well, it's gone now for sure. And join us from the far West Coast is Connie Practical Magic 9.
Where's my damn hoverboard? That's what I really want to know.
We're supposed to have those fucking hoverboards by now, weren't we?
Yes, and instant pizza.
Right.
Jeez.
But we do have Skype and flat screen TVs.
Yes, we do. We have at least that.
Which were also featured in that movie.
Right.
I think I'd still rather have the time machine, but
Yeah, I'd rather have the time machine, because that's why I could.
DeLorean.
Yes. I don't know if I want it in a DeLorean though, because it just the parts for cars like that are really difficult, you know.
No, not really.
True.
The factory that made DeLoreans, where was it? It was like in Eastern Europe or something.
Mm-hmm.
Some company in California bought the entire contents, because the factory just shut down in the middle of production.
Mm-hmm.
They bought all of the parts, everything.
And they're all going to Doc Brown's warehouse, right?
No, they're all in California. There's this big warehouse in California. If you really, really, really want a brand new DeLorean and you got the money, you can have one.
Yeah, that's the problem.
They'll make it out of original parts.
That's the whole problem. You have to have the money. And what if they're in the middle of making it and then they like, oh, we don't have a fender. We're out of fenders. Sorry.
Aftermarket parts.
I knew a guy that had one. He bought one used for a few $1,000s, or he traded another car for it or something. And he said that the wing doors, the pneumatic piston, the little air piston that would make the door go up and stay up, he said those wear out. But that's like the easiest part to get, because all the people who own DeLoreans need them. So he just ordered a new set, put them in, and the doors worked again. And then before I could even see it, he sold it. I'm like, you got rid of a DeLorean and I didn't get to ride in it? He's like, oh, sorry, man.
Sorry, man, I didn't get. I had my time machine in there and it went back in time.
I got a good offer for it.
The last time I was down in Southern California, heading out of LA on a flatbed behind a truck, going out to one of the theme parks, was the Cutaway. Like the half DeLorean car from Back to the Future.
Oh, that's cool.
I was like, oh my God.
Wow.
I did not have my camera. So
that's so cool. That's so cool.
It was like, ah!
Yes, anyway. That is so cool.
I would love to have one.
Yes. Speaking of cool technology, we're kind of doing a wrap-up of everything that happened in 2014, and we're going to just cover some of the biggest stories from 2014 and some of the weird technology that happened in that decade, or that year anyway. Decade. It feels like a decade. It was 2014 was a weird year. It felt like a decade.
Well, I only read the stories from 2013, so I'm going to be bringing it way back.
Yeah, he's going way back. But
It's your Wayback Machine out there.
Back in the
Mr. Peabody.
day, 2013.
right. So let's get on to that first tech story from last year.
Building a better future, science and technology.
Last year, there was a big problem with the internet. Not that the fact is that you couldn't get service sometimes on your cell phone. That was not the problem. The problem was if you go to a site and it says HTTPS, the S is supposed to mean secure. And there was a coding bug in the OpenSSL, which basically encrypts all your transmissions. Like if you're at your bank and you want to type in for a loan, or you want to pay off something, or you just want to move some money around between your savings and checking account, the OpenSSL is supposed to, keep your transactions secure between what happens in your computer and what happens at the bank. There was a little problem with the OpenSSL. It was a programming bug, basically. And somebody was able to take advantage of this little bug, and it was called the Heartbleed bug. It wasn't a worm. It wasn't a virus. There was actually nothing you could do personally to take care of this problem. This was something that had to be taken care of at the server level. Unless you were actually in charge of a server or running a server, then you could do something about it. Even changing your password across several different sites, which a lot of people do, is that they will have one password for several different places on the internet. And not that that's a great idea, because it's not. It's actually kind of a bad idea. You should have a different password for different sites, because if someone gets a hold of one password and they find out where your other places go, then they can break into those quite easily. But that set aside, just changing your password would not have prevented this. There was some data stolen from the Canadian agency up in Canada, of course. They apparently had confirmed that they had over 900 social security numbers and other pieces of data stolen from their IRS servers. So that's just to give you an idea on how serious this bug was. Fortunately, the bug was discovered, and a lot of sites quickly patched this problem. There was for several months out there where the bug was on certain sites were still affected because the people didn't know about the problem, or they just thought that they weren't going to be affected by it. Joe, your thoughts?
Yeah, I tried to use the Heartbleed bug to get your account information, and while I was able to get control of your Twitter account through just guessing your password, it was muffins2222.
Remember to change my password from muffins2222.
I couldn't get the Heartbleed thing to work. I was so pissed. I was like, who the hell designed this bug? The North Koreans? So it was just bullshit. Like, I was so set to clean out your bank account. I was going to open up a whole bunch of loans in your name, but fuck it.
Well, that would have been very difficult. I have a hard time getting loans in my own name. So if you had gotten a loan in my name, more power to you.
It depends on the country you borrow from.
Oh, that's true. I was wondering why.
His cut.
Yeah, I was wondering why the Russian mob was knocking on my door asking me for money.
You open up your mail and you're like, I haven't been to Chile.
Get a Brazilian wax in Brazil. What's
yes.
that?
No, seriously, what are your thoughts on this?
Those are my thoughts on this.
Oh, that's it?
I mean, I remember covering the story when it was going around, but I don't remember it becoming a super, super, super big deal. Yeah. I mean, I think they found the problem, they fixed it quickly, and that was that, right?
Yeah. So the biggest problem with the Heartbleed bug was it just didn't affect desktop computers. It affected most people's, mobile devices as well, because this bug
games.
In games, yeah, games and whatever. It just whatever piece of technology you used to get on the internet, whether it be an iPad, an iPhone, BlackBerry, Android,
Apple
or whatever.
devices were affected?
Everything was affected because it's not the hardware, and it wasn't a hardware issue. It was a software issue at the server. So it's just wherever you
it's a server issue.
Soft serve issue.
It's a soft serve issue. Ice cream is affected
soft
everywhere.
Serve ice cream. That's really sad.
That's right.
I like when they do the spiral. That's cool.
I
Yeah. Oh, that's fun.
crop.
Yes.
Yeah.
Kind of your thoughts.
I might be misquoting this because I think that the website, now that I looked at it again, was talking about 2013. Evidently, data breaches increased like 62% in 2013. So I'm like, well, okay, if that was in 2013, how many did we have?
Yeah.
I mean, we just ended the year, with a huge hack of Sony, and
Oh yeah.
yeah. So as common as the internet is, I just don't think that we know enough about what we should be doing to secure ourselves.
Yeah, I give the North Koreans credit for being able to use an old gateway computer with a floppy drive, with a 5 1/4 floppy drive, to get on the internet and hack Sony. So, way to go to show.
Did
how
they really
good
use that? To?
I have
or are you
no
just
idea.
Joking?
I'm just joking.
Oh, okay.
Kim Jong-il has a 5.5-inch floppy drive.
I don't think he even has a 3 1/4 inch floppy.
It happens to men as they get older, I hear.
I know a lot of their money was frozen with the sanctions, so I have no idea what
That
kind of
just happened,
computers they could
yeah.
afford to buy. I mean, they probably had
Yeah.
some kind of money in reserve.
Oh yeah, they did.
They are a country.
Yes. As a matter of fact, there was a big announcement that came out today over that. It said that President Obama authorized additional sanctions on North Korea's first aspect of our response to Sony's cyber attack. That's just right from the breaking news site, and that was at 1 o'clock this afternoon. So, but
I remember what Lee Lemon told us about North Korea when we asked her, do the South Koreans worry about North Korea? And she was like, the only people that worry about North Korea is the American media. Everybody else in the world realizes they're not a threat to anyone. If they're going to hurt anybody, they're going to hurt themselves.
Right. It's like Grandpa. It's like, don't play with an electric chainsaw anymore. I'm still old enough. I can handle this chainsaw.
Right. I mean, like they're such a broken country. Like they can't do anything. They have two kinds of rockets. The first kind blows up on the launch pad. The second kind spins around in the air and lands in the Sea of Japan.
That's pretty much it. Connie, did you have any additional thoughts on this?
So North Korea has projectile dysfunction.
Yeah, they have serious projectile dysfunction, which explains a lot for North Korea.
Okay. Well, what's weird about the heartbleed?
Yes.
Because that we're supposed to be talking about. Evidently, the breach might have happened like 5 months earlier in like December of 2013.
Yeah.
So we're right on top of that one. And this 900 Social Security numbers, it's called social insurance, I guess, in Canada, was traced to some engineering student. Whether he got actually, accused or taken to trial about that, I don't know. Right. But the thing I wasn't able to determine exactly was evidently Bloomberg said that two unnamed sources said that the United States NSA had been aware of the flaw of the heartbleed since shortly after its appearance. Now, I don't know if they mean shortly after, the Heartbleed app was was created, but they just sat there and they knew about it and they just watched.
Yeah, because they generally like to take advantage of that kind of stuff. Is like
instead of reporting it, they just kept a secret to exploit it. And of course, the NSA was denying everything. I'm just thinking about the last part of the year, how the NSA
the NSA denied stuff. Oh my gosh.
And the FBI.
This is big news. Wait a minute, we got to get this on the AP.
ASAP.
As soon as possible. That's right.
STAT. Yeah.
They can SIT SPIN.
1, 2, 3. How simple as do re mi. Oh.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah, it was
I hate passwords.
Yeah, it was a big problem, but fortunately, as far as I know, because I have not heard anything else on that, it was, as far as I understand, it has been fixed. So use your bank or wherever you use normally. So that's the way it goes.
What else are we gonna do, Packard?
I guess we have to actually go to the bank and and actually go out and talk to people.
Cut a hole in it, stick your money in.
If I did that, my money would be wet.
Because you pee the bed.
No, because I have a water bed.
Plus,
plus sewing,
TMI, but okay.
Yeah, plus sewing the water bed back up is kind of difficult. The water just keeps seeping out after you cut a hole in it, you know.
You have a water bed.
I'm
You
done.
dog.
Speaking of dogs, let's get on to our next topic for this evening.
Well, I'm not the brightest crayon in the box.
Earlier this last year, two 12-year-old girls had an obsession with a little thing called Slender Man. It was a made-up horror guy that's apparently, I really don't know too much about Slender Man himself, but as far as I understood, it was a story that was kind of put together by a lot of different people. It was like crowdsourced story to make the story better or worse or whatever. And these two girls thought Slender Man was real. In fact, they went so far to prove to their friends that Slender Man was real that they took one of their friends into the woods, tied her up, and tried to stab her to death in order to invoke Slender Man to appear. The person who got stabbed was very fortunate to have survived this assault. The young girls here were tried in a Waukesha County courtroom, and they both had $500,000 cash bonds, and they were supposedly, the story's a little old, so I'm trying to go by what's here. They were trying to get them charged as adults, and if they been charged as adults, they would have gotten 65 years in prison apiece. The leader of the two had psychiatric evaluation, and the other one, as at the time of this article was written, was not given one until she got her hearing. So I don't know if she had or not at this point. There is a picture of a Slender Man holding the hand of a little girl, but you can obviously see from the photograph it's completely made up. It's a mannequin. It's not a person in that. There's no way a person could fit into an outfit like that. So I don't understand why someone would get this into their mind, why they think something fictional is real. And then I remember, oh yeah, we have this thing called religion in this country. People pray to an imaginary friend in the sky thinking that's real too. So this is exactly the kind of thing how religions start. You get a couple people who have a crazy idea, and then they start convincing others to follow them on these crazy ideas. If this had been, say, 1,000 years ago, maybe 2,000 years ago, if this had gone on then, this kind of thing could have turned into yet another cult. And I call all religions cults. It's just a matter of how many people believe them. Joe, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it's really unfortunate that this one girl was so badly injured. The other two girls, they were arrested. And this article is kind of old, so that it said that they were going to trial, I guess. I don't know if they were sentenced yet. But yeah, that's just them taking fun on the internet too seriously and hurting their friend in the process. That's just really, really, really crazy. I was looking at some of the pictures of Slender Man, and that's definitely a creepy character.
Yeah,
It is.
I like the pictures. Like, he has no face. Mm-hmm. He's really, really tall. He's really, really skinny. He's usually photographed, like, either scaring children or walking with children or something. And it's just, it's neat. Like, if you Google it, look at some of those pictures. They're neat and creepy.
Yeah, especially if you like creepy. It's not my personal thing, but
Hold on, I have to go stab somebody.
Slender Man told you to? Oh, he said the same thing to me. Damn it.
This was
I have to keep him happy.
This was just handed to me by my producer. It has here, the Slender Man was alleged paranormal figure purported to have been in existence for centuries, covering a large geographic area. Believers in Slender Man tie his appearance to many other legends around the world, including Fear Dub, or the Dark Man in Scotland, Dutch Talkman, Branchman, and the German legend Dir Grobbraun, or Dir Grossman, the Tall Man. Mm-hmm. Just some little slight history. I don't know how much of that history is actually true, because a lot of this stuff is added in later on as part of the lore of it. Kind of your thoughts.
Well, it started on the Creepypasta site on the web. Mm-hmm. And I'm familiar with Creepypasta because I have teenagers. I'm sure that Alex, your daughter, is also familiar with that.
She's sitting there going, uh-huh.
And Slenderman, actually, a lot of times he winds up looking like a tree. He's usually found in the woods, and what's strange is his arms are really long. He kind of, and so anybody who's spent any time in an older growth forest, you have these trees where there's a lot of light coming through them, but you've got a lot of branches, and they're bare branches because they're deciduous trees. Kind of plays on that. These girls have treated it like a religion. They basically made their own religion. Yeah. But this is probably more technically like a Bigfoot story. This is an urban legend kind of a story that was created, and it's just for fun.
Right.
But
like Mothman.
Well, yes, and Chupacabra and all of those things.
Yeah, but that's real, and Bigfoot's real, and we'll get attacked for it, say they're not.
The one girl, Morgan Geyser, who is she was the one who actually stabbed the victim, who was Peyton Lautner. She has been labeled as schizophrenic.
Yeah.
Now, as of December 18th, though, she's been deemed competent to stand trial, and both her and the other girl, the Alyssa Weir girl, are both going to stand trial as adults, because evidently in Wisconsin, if you're over the age of 10 and you have done an assault, with intent to murder, you can stand trial as an adult. But I'm assuming that they must have Morgan on some kind of, treatment, some kind of medical treatment. But when she was taken in, she also said she thought that unicorns were real, and she talked to Lord Voldemort and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and she has Vulcan.
I saw them I saw the turtles in the sewer just the other day. I stopped by. They called for pizza. I figured, hey, I'm in the neighborhood. I had an extra pizza,
If I had any problem with them being tried as adults, is I do not know how it would serve the country or the county or anybody for them to serve a life term.
It is a life sentence.
In prison. It's because 65 years. It doesn't make sense to me. Obviously, they're 11, 12 years old when this crime was committed, and that's not something acceptable. But I think they need treatment.
Yeah.
They really need. They need somebody to help them, because I don't know. That's kind of late for kids to believe in magic and fairy tales and stuff like that, and not being able to, separate the two. But I guess the Morgan Geyser, the one who actually did the stabbing, her parents, they have a household where they have a very goth kind of household. So I'm not saying the parents are wrong, just that maybe the line between real and make believe is very blurred for her, and so. I would like to see, and I'm really glad. Evidently, the victim, she's doing really well. I found a video on another site where her parents took her to, she likes to volunteer at a animal shelter where she was playing with kittens and things like that. So she actually entered school again in this last fall.
That's good.
So, yeah, but as of the 18th, both of these girls are actually proceeding to trial.
As I remember, they lured her into the woods with something about animals, as I recall. I don't remember exactly what it was.
It was supposed to be a sleepover. It was Morgan, the stabber. It was her birthday, and they were supposed to have a sleepover, and they're playing hide and seek, and they proceeded to victimize the girl.
That's one hell of a game of hide and seek.
19 times. The girl almost died. They came very close to severing her artery at her heart.
Right.
So
that's like
the girl crawled. The girl crawled out of the woods, and she was found by a bicyclist. And
right. Yeah. She was the bicyclist was in the right place at the right time to save her.
Yes.
So a big thank you to the person who saved this girl. I mean, you did a solid for this girl. You saved this girl's life.
But it's another story of mental health, and it's another story of teaching our children rational thinking.
Definitely. Definitely. This is why. And people wonder why religion. People will say, "Oh, there's nothing wrong with religion. Religion is okay. It doesn't hurt anybody." This is a perfect example of people making up their own religions and following a religion, as it were, and hurting somebody over it. I mean, and the book and the Bible itself is no different. I mean, it tells a lot of stories very similar to this. So. What they did, I don't think, was any different than what most Christians follow. They just don't follow it to that extreme, except for the Westboro Baptist Church. They're pretty close to doing that already as it is. So, yeah, yeah. But anyway, we're gonna take a quick break, and we're gonna give you some information how you can get in contact with us. and we'll be back in just a few minutes to ruin the rest of the show for you.
Contact us by email at ppappodcast@gmail.com or on Twitter as at Packard Pokes At. Like us on Facebook.com/Packard Pokes At. Call our Google Voice and leave a message at 662-709-PPAP or 662-709-7727, and we will respond to it on the show. Friday nights at 9 p.m. Central Time. Join us live at vonlive.tv/Packard Pokes At. During the show, you can share your thoughts with us by calling 857-216-3200 using PIN number 35368 or on uberconference.com/Packard Pokes At. For links to the stories, visit our show page at packardpokesat.wordpress.com. You can help support the show by purchasing merchandise from cafepress.com/Packard Pokes At or make a donation to the show at patreon.com/Packard Pokes At. If you can't afford any money, why not share the show with your friends and rate us on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, Spreaker, and on YouTube. For everyone that shares and rates us, you kick ass.
And that was Connie's daughter's boyfriend who did the voice for our recent commercial there. So I want to thank him for the time I spent with him to help put this together and help me rewrite it just a little bit so it came out a little bit better than the old commercial was. So, it's well done. Well done.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, all right, let's get on to our next topic for this evening.
Religion easily has the greatest bullshit story ever told. Think about it. Religion has actually convinced people that there's an invisible man living in the sky.
Just a few days ago, as of just this last year, the very end of last year, there was a serious incident. It was a plane crash. What does this have to do with religion? A little bit here. The flight is the AirAsia flight QZ8501. It was going from Surabaya in Indonesia and had crashed on its way there. Apparently, a man had booked a seat on there with his kids and wife, and his father became ill, and so he canceled his flight. He canceled. I'm going to have to skip the flight. We'll have to catch the next one because got to take care of Dad, which happens. It happens millions of times every day. Nothing spectacular about it. People miss their flights for all various sorts of reasons. But reason why we're talking about this particular one is because of the 162 other people who died on that flight. One, and his family, the 3 or 4 other people in his family survived because they didn't get on. And now he is personally thanking God for keeping him off that plane. So God saves one family, the other 162 people get a poke in the eye and get their lives taken away. Good work, God. Good work. You did it again. Not. The fact is that this guy, he's getting press for saying he's thanking God for saving his life. He does feel bad for the other families, but apparently not bad enough that he's giving God credit for saving just his life. You know what? Take your God, shove it up your ass. Joe, your thoughts?
Yeah, I was listening to Seth MacFarlane, the creator of Family Guy, and he was telling this incredible story about how he was trying to make it to a flight in Logan Airport in Boston. He had to fly to LA, and he missed his flight by like 10 minutes or 15 minutes. Mm-hmm. He'd been up drinking the night before. His travel agent put the wrong time on the itinerary, and he just missed it. Like, he ran up to the gate, and they were closing the door of the plane. And they're like, we can put you on a flight in 2 hours, And so he's like, fuck, whatever. So he goes to the bar, and he finds a quiet corner, and he goes to sleep. Well, 40 minutes later, he wakes up and sees everybody huddled by the TV. The plane he was supposed to get on just slammed into the North Tower of the World Trade Center.
Oh, wow.
And he said exactly what you just said, Packard. It's all a law of probability. Every flight that takes off, somebody misses it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a rare occurrence that an airplane actually crashes.
Yep.
But when an airplane crashes, there is going to be 1, 2, 3, maybe 5 people who missed that flight.
Right.
It isn't anything supernatural. There was no God intervention or aura or luck or any of that stuff.
Right.
It was just you happened to be the person that missed that flight, and that flight also happened to crash.
Yep.
Every plane that has ever crashed, there was somebody that missed it.
Yep.
So it's just, I mean, this guy was very lucky. Yeah.
Yeah,
Even though I just said there's no such thing as luck. But he was just that fortunate person that said, you know what, I can't fly, so he canceled his tickets and didn't go, and it just happened to be one of the planes that was going to crash.
Right. Yeah, I was saying this at the meeting. What if the reason why that plane crashed is because he wasn't on that flight? It's possible. What if his body weight, and his family's body weight, plus their
So
luggage?
you say it's like the butterfly effect?
Right.
Like if he had been on that flight, everybody would have lived.
That's possible because they're taking it. They're taking it from the wrong end. It's like, oh, God killed everybody else or let everybody else die, but saved me.
Taken a massive dump in the lav,
right?
And it would have offset the balance of the plane, and it wouldn't have crashed.
Might have. Who knows?
God actually wanted to kill him. It's like, damn, I missed again.
Damn, I missed that whole plane again. God damn. God damn me.
See, I thought I had him.
So, yeah, no, I'm completely kidding, of course. There's no way to know if that's exactly what happened. But
Satan made his father sick.
Right, yeah, Satan made it sick, so God...
And God was like, damn it! What's with this guy?
You may be more right than you know, Joe. The father had hepatitis.
Right. So actually, he should be thanking, if he blames Satan for his father getting ill, then he should be thanking Satan, not God. Because if Satan since Satan supposedly got him sick, then he stayed there to make his father well. So he should be thanking Satan, not God. God didn't do anything.
Right. Because this guy is going to eventually become the Antichrist.
Right.
and God is just trying to save the rest of us.
Right.
But God needs him, man.
Yeah.
Can't do it without him and Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
Where it's not even about this guy, it's about one of his kids.
Right.
Like one of his kids is going to grow up and be the Antichrist and wreck the world.
See, that's what it was.
This was the chance that the future had to live and be free, but no. This selfish motherfucker has to survive.
Right. You selfish bastard. How dare you survive? No, it is a massive tragedy. It was a massive tragedy.
Oh yeah, totally.
But
and this guy and his family are definitely lucky to have just happened to be the recipients of that improbable probability. But it is what it is. I mean,
Yes, exactly.
It's a crazy random happenstance.
Yes, Connie, your thoughts?
Well, there was a man about to be married. There was a biology teacher, an energy executive. There were families on vacation with a daughter, and there were missionaries.
Mm-hmm.
Missionaries on that plane who helped people in need that died.
Yep.
It's just happenstance. And, I'm just thinking about this because I used to hate, Tammy Faye Baker used to screech out this song, "We're Blessed." And it was saying, we don't complain about things, because we're really blessed, but it would just go on about all of this nonsensical stuff, and it used to offend me even when I was a believer. What's really awful is every single one of us, I would think, say, gosh, if you avoided a disaster like this, if you overslept on 9/11 and you didn't go into work that day,
Mm-hmm.
You would be right in feeling that you had avoided something, and that's not a problem. I don't have a problem with people being thankful that they are still alive. That's
right.
Not a problem. But the minute that you say that God spared you, you automatically put some other agent in, and that's what stayed you and prevented you from doing something. And what makes you so special? It makes it so much more awful. It just makes it ugly. Mm-hmm. It takes it to another place, and it's no longer just being thankful that you're alive. And
not only that, I think it gives these people a little bit of delusion of grandeur as well, because they think that they are so special that they say that their God decided to kill a whole other sets of people, be killed, and spared them. So they must be ultra special for God to have spared them.
And how many people change the events in their life because they feel like now what have I been saved for? What's, there must be some importance. This is important. And it's just, again, it's not more important just because you avoided either, you on something that's just random, like, why does a tornado take out one house and not the other?
Right,
down
exactly.
one side of the street and it's everything out. And it's just life. It's just chance. It's random.
Exactly.
And God spared my life. I went ahead and I Googled it.
Mm-hmm.
And within just, seconds, I had 7,250 results.
Wow.
A page. And those were of entire pages of people telling their story of how God spared them.
Mm-hmm.
But
I see what people put stuff up like that up on the web and whatnot. And they say, God spared my house in a hurricane or tornado. That's like saying, okay, I want to thank God for not letting the murderer come to my house and he sent him next door instead to stab the people next door. That's right. It's no different. So God is like, these people, you know what? Let's just go stab the other people next door. It's like thanking the murderer, I think. It's like
thanking God and not the surgeon.
Right. Exactly. That's my biggest pet peeve. When people thank God, it's like, I came out of surgery. Thank God. It's like, don't bother thanking the surgeon who went to school for 10 years and honed and practiced and learned his craft so he could save your life.
And all the generations of people who studied and learned about biology and life itself so that we know to wash our hands, to do, to make these medicines. It's nothing. It's nothing miraculous.
Exactly.
Yeah, give thanks where thanks is really due, and just be thankful that you can hug your family today because your dad had hepatitis. I don't know.
Thank you, Dad, for getting hepatitis. I don't know how you caught it, but you've been sharing that rusty spoon with your friends down at the dock.
That's not how you get hepatitis. But Connie mentioned people who just didn't go into work on 9/11.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't lucky. They were Jewish. Because all the Jews knew about it ahead of time. I read it on a conspiracy website, and everything I read on conspiracy websites is 100% true.
Right.
That was gonna heal.
Don't go to work today. Something bad's going to happen. Yes. Nobody.
It's amazing how no Jews died on 9/11.
It's so amazing. Mm-hmm.
When in fact, actually, many Jews died on 9/11.
Yeah. The fact is that there's a lot of people out there that believe this. Dawkins Dog from the chat room says, imagine how arrogant Noah must have been after surviving that flood.
I am God's chosen. Yeah, you are. That's the point of the story, dickhead.
Dawkins Dog, was that supposed to be a Jewish accent? Was that to me, or was that to Packard?
There was also a comment here from Taliban Cat that came in from Twitter here. Says, our plans to kill Seth MacFarlane continue. We are waiting until he cancels Family Guy first, like this show. PPAP. They shall never cancel the Family Guy. No, I don't. They probably will someday.
They killed Brian.
They killed Brian. They brought him back, but they killed him. But they brought him back.
Family Guy's gonna go for 30 years like The Simpsons.
Oh, I hope so. I need to be entertained until I die.
Oh wait, Family Guy is a ripoff of The Simpsons. I forgot.
That's right. Everything's a ripoff of everybody else.
And not nearly as original as Futurama.
Right.
Oh, goodness.
Speaking of original, let's get on to our last topic for this evening.
Fly me to the moon. Let me play among the stars. Let me see what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars.
And on tonight's Did You Know They're an Atheist? We had a little bit of a debate. Well, I don't want to say debate. We had a good discussion on who was going to be the top pick for our Atheist of 2014, and they came out to be Ricky Gervais. He was interviewed on Piers Morgan tonight on September 13th.
Whoa.
What?
Ricky Gervais is an atheist?
Yes, he is an atheist.
Shut the fuck up. Really? That guy's hilarious.
I know, isn't he, though? I
had no idea.
It's what makes him funny.
That's what makes him funny. Do you know that the movie, The Invention of Lying, it was an atheist movie. Many people don't know that, but it was an atheist movie. He was on Piers Morgan tonight on September 13th, maybe September 14th, because the information I found out, it was posted said the next day for September 14th, so I'm assuming it was September 13th of 2013. He said, "I don't want to die any more than anyone else, and I think there's this strange myth that atheists have nothing to live for. It's the opposite. We have nothing to die for and everything to live for." So right there, he basically says that he is an atheist. And there is a lot of other quotes where he says that he's an atheist. I just can't fit it all on top of the screen here. So, by the way, this is a new feature here at Packard Pokes that we actually have the quote right there on the top there, so everybody can read it. That's in the chat room. So, yeah.
It's like the foam on top of your cappuccino.
Yes, it's a little foam stuff. Some people hate that foam, but I like it. It's like, ooh, get the little foamy mustache. Joe, your thoughts?
So there's multiple quotes from him confirming that he's an atheist. That's amazing. That's incredible.
Isn't it, though?
Yeah. I mean, so he's pretty outspoken about it.
Yes.
No, I mean, yeah, Ricky Gervais, he's done some really great comedy bits about God and religion and stuff, and some of them are hilarious. He does a really good Noah's Ark bit, which is available on YouTube. You can watch that. And he hosted for 2 years in a row the Golden Globes, and he just made atheist jokes all through the whole thing. And you can watch mashups of all those jokes. I've watched them multiple times. They're great. He's also a pretty active atheist tweeter.
Yes.
He's on Twitter a lot. He talks about that stuff a lot. He interacts with a lot of the community. I know Donovan, Mr. Oz Atheist, him and Ricky Gervais, they get along pretty good.
Yep.
I've actually heard the both of them talking to each other on podcasts. Like, that's how tight they are. Like, that's pretty cool.
That's cool.
Yeah. So, yeah, Ricky Gervais, give him a follow on Twitter and check out his stuff on YouTube. He's funny.
Absolutely. Taliban Cat tweeted in, "The infidel Ricky Gervais is now on my list of targets. We shall kill him if he does not bring back The Office."
Yes.
He was in the second new Muppets movie.
Yeah, I have not yet chance to watch that yet, though.
And he's in the newest Night at the Museum movie, which I saw.
Oh, that's something else on my list. I think
he's he's funny in both movies, even though Night at the Museum kind of sucked.
Yeah, that's the last movie that Robin Williams made, which was a great loss for 2014. We lost Robin Williams in 2014. So.
Oh my God, I got a quick story to tell about that.
Okay.
At the end of Night at the Museum, they show like the credits, and the people are dancing in the little picture while the credits go by.
Right.
And when that's all done, they put up on the screen, because Mickey Rooney was also in it.
Yeah, we lost Mickey Rooney this last year too, didn't we?
So it said, "In loving memory of Mickey Rooney." There was a slight pause, and then it said, "And Robin Williams." There was a slight pause, and it said, "The magic never dies."
Right.
Or "The magic never ends." And I was like, "Oh, that's beautiful. That's great. That, a good send off for two great actors who've been in a billion movies and stuff like that." And I hear this person behind me say, "How is Robin Williams and Mickey Rooney in this movie if they're dead?"
Oh my God.
Oh my
God.
I'm just like,
what?
That's
And the person they were with was like, "I think they might have filmed it before they died." And like, "Is that how they do it?" Like, oh my God.
No, they dug them up, reanimated them, and put them in the movie, and then reburied them. That's how it worked.
They actually built Robin Williams out of wax, and then they got the Egyptian tablet, and they animated him, and he's like, "I'm Teddy Roosevelt." They're like, "No, you're Robin Williams, but you got to play Teddy Roosevelt." And he's like, "Oh, okay." That's how they do it.
Oh, jeez, that's oh wow.
And these weren't teenagers or kids; they were adults.
Oh, I
I looked right at them. I'm like, "Are you serious?"
Wow, I feel so bad for the education in this country now.
Cue the crickets. Packard. Do you have the cricket sound?
I'm gonna have to get the cricket sound. It's like, oh, really? It's like,
need that.
I need the crickets for this one. Yeah. Wow. Just crazy. But anyway, Ricky Gervais is not crazy. He's a great tweeter. So give him a follow on Twitter.
Oh, can I just add something?
Yes. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Did I? I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, he's got, he has you go to IMDb and look up his movies and his TV shows. He originated The Office. I guess it only played 2 seasons in England. Then we got our version of it here that ran for 9. And a show called Extras. And right now he has a show called Derek on Netflix, and that's in its 2nd season. And of course, Night at the Museum 3. I think he was in 2 also. But this Sunday, January 4th on ABC, he's going to be one of the stars on a new medieval musical called Gallivant, and also has Weird Al Yankovic on it.
Really?
Yeah, it's this big star-studded thing, and it looks like it'd be really funny. So
that's the first time Weird Al's done videos and something with atheists. So it is his foil one, the cameraman, the guy behind the camera, the producer or whatever. He's an atheist too, and we covered him on the show as well a while back. So
yeah, I haven't seen The Invention of Lying, but I did watch Ghost Town, which I found kind of funny, kind of offbeat little comedy thing. So
I haven't heard of that one, but I'm going to look that one up. But yeah, you should definitely check out The Invention of Lying. It's a good movie.
Yeah,
I haven't seen that either. I heard it was good.
Yeah, it was good, especially if you're, I think, in my opinion, of course, I think if you're an atheist, you'll understand the concept behind it. You'll really get it. It really comes through. So.
Well, I need tips because I'm a really bad liar.
Well, the point is all atheists are liars because we have no morals.
That's right. We all have no morals. That's right.
And when we joke about eating babies, we're actually lying because we actually do eat babies.
Yes, I have baby in the oven right now, and it's still warming up for dinner.
It's called veal.
I may have mentioned this before, but I feel really bad for the vegetarian atheists out there because they can't partake in the baby eating contests. So.
Well, they're what baby carrots were made for.
Yeah, that's what baby carrots are made for. It's just not the same, though.
No, it's not. Did you know that baby carrots are a lie? They're actually regular carrots that are ground down to make that shape. I was like, the carrots are alive.
The carrots are alive. Oh. Anyway.
Carrots are an inside job.
That's right. All right.
Yay! Happy New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year, everybody. I hope everybody has a wonderful 2015, and we'll be bringing you some more great show this year. And we have a guest on next week, and that's Justin Schieber from the podcast Reasonable Doubts. Give him a listen on his show. Yep.
Justin Bieber?
Justin Bieber. That's right. I said exactly what I said, Justin Bieber.
Dude, that's awesome. I can't wait for that.
Justin Schieber, Teen Pop Station, Justin Schieber. So,
the dude from Reasonable Doubts. That's awesome.
Yes. So we'll have him on the show with us. So be sure to be here, and you can ask him a question or two if you so choose to. And we will like to get your questions for him. And when I post the video up on YouTube here on Monday, you can post questions there as well. So don't miss out on that. Well, anyway, we got to get out of here. We'll see you next week. This has been Packard Pokes At. We just poked at your news.
And that's a wrap.